Yes, sir.
Yes, last time we have discussed the difference between UPSC, GSI, and Ministry of Mines. Yes, what is the difference with these one? What the role?
Uh, um, Sir, Geological Survey of India is a attached body to the Ministry of Mines, and the Ministry of Mines works under the Government of India, central government, and UPSC is a constitutional body, Union Public Service Commission, that is independent of these.
What is the order of IRAC, UPSC, GSI, and Ministry of Mines?
Sir, in terms of GSI, if I will talk of chemistry point of view, so or talking to the few of my seniors or my batchmate friends, basically, the joining level is a chemist, and after that they promoted to senior chemist, and then they promoted to the joint director, and then director, and then additional director general, and then director general DG at the topmost level.
Yes, the order of UPSC and Ministry of Mines and GSI. Which one is top and which one is low? 1 to 3rd.
Sir, Ministry of Mines is a ministry, so I cannot compare the. Well, I don't think there is comparison level between constitutional body and non-constitutional. But UPSC is constitutionally backed, so it holds much importance compared to these bodies.
Yes. Yes, who is DG of GSI presently?
Sorry, sir, I do not recall.
Janardhan Prasad.
Janardhan Prasad.
Yes. Former is Dr. Raju. Yes.
ठीक है, जनार्दन प्रसाद सर ओके काम का है. Okay.
The headquarter of GSI and ASI.
Headquarter of GSI is situated on Kolkata, and ASI, Archaeological Survey of India, sir, I do not know.
New Delhi.
New Delhi. Okay, sir.
GSI, when did found? And when did it
Sir,
start?
1851.
Yes.
Sir, I think it has been more than 170 years, 174th years.
Father of GSI?
Sir, Alexander Cunningham, sir, I think I have read.
Why say? Why say?
Why say?
Yes. Why say father of?
Sorry, sir, then I have to read it.
Okay, good. Yes, some question is clear regarding to UPSC. Yes, UPSC is which article is under of?
Sir, Article 3122325, I think.
Yes, 3082
3.
3082 323 part 14.
Acha, okay. 3082323. Okay, sir. 15 basically articles are there. Okay.
Yes, what is the difference between UPSC and state PSC? And what the role of these one for our society?
Sir, both are constitutionally backed, State Public Service Commission and Union Public Service Commission. And the role of UPSC is to recruit the officers that are demanded by the government. For example, civil services examination, forest services, geology, geoscientists. These are recruited through the UPSC, and also UPSC provides regarding the inputs and advices related to their promotion and other scenarios. And state public commission works in the same domain, but with state duties, like they recruit the officers of state level, such as state about subordinate services, as they work at the state level for the same kind of jobs.
That's good. What's the role of PM and CM in UPSC and state PSC? Any role?
No, sir. UPSC, State Public Service Commission, and Uttar Pradesh UPSC are independent and constitutionally backed. So there is no government interference in the working of these bodies.
Yes, good. Next, move on. Instrumental analysis. Yes, what is instrumental analysis? What is the main application and purpose?
Sir, when we do any kind of analysis or any determination of samples or maybe ions with the help of instruments, for example, we are using at AS instrument for to determining some kind of alkali metal ions. So basically, the instrumentation means dealing with some kind of instruments to analyze the ions or the or for some kind of objective in our sample.
Yes, what the role of instrumental analysis to uncovering pathway to improve public systems?
Sir, sorry, sir, I couldn't get the question properly.
What the role of instrumental analysis in uncovering pathway to improving public system?
Public system.
Yes, how to improve?
Sir, is it related to chemistry? Like, I'm not sure it is deal with public system. I am not able to, sir, attach instrumentation
Public
analysis.
system like to children and families, interventions for children and families. The role of instrumental
Acha,
analysis.
institution. Acha, sir, I think it will be institutional, not
Yes,
instrumental, sir.
yes, yes.
Sir, I thought instrumental
Yes,
means
yes.
some kind of chemistry.
Sorry. Yes, yes. Sorry for this.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, sir.
So instrumental and institutional. Next, what is the drawback of instrumental analysis?
Sir, drawback in instrumentation analysis like there are some kind of devices and instruments that are efficient and sensitive for that particular ions. For example, mercury is used for cold vapor technique for atomic absorption spectroscopy. Cold vapor as basically is used for mercury, but similarly, some kind of oxides are interfered or identified with the help of XRF. So the limitation is that there is not any universal instrumental analysis. There are some segments and varieties where we cater for analysis depending upon the parameters.
Yes, good. What are the three instrumental method of analysis? Any?
Uh, Sir, atomic absorption spectroscopy, thermal gravimetry, XRF, ICP-MS. These are some of the instrumental analysis procedures.
What are the instrument used in instrumental analysis?
Sir, it depends what kind of sample we want to test it. If it deals with the gravimetry part, then we use thermal gravimetry TGA method. But if it deals with the absorption spectroscopy, then we use AS and atomic emission spectroscopy flame, like this, depending upon the suitability of our parameter and samples.
Yes, gas chromatography, HPLC,
Gas chromatography, HPLC, ion
X-ray,
exchange chromatography. Yes, yes.
fluorescence.
Hmm.
What are the physical properties of instrumental analysis?
Sir, physical properties of instrument analysis will be covering the physical parameters of the sample. Like some kind of samples are treated in the pellet form, or maybe some kind of used with the solution on droplet form. So, and also the physical properties such as thickness, toughness, and density and color, light behavior on the observance of light. These are physical properties under the instrumental analysis.
Which method is faster, classical or instrumental?
Sorry, sir, I don't know.
What is non-instrumental analysis?
Sir, if there is any analytical procedure that we are not using any sophisticated instrument, that are the primary part of the analysis. So those type of those type of analytical procedures will be called as non-instrumental analysis, such as if we are titrating an image with SCL, basic acid base titration. So it did not deal with any sophisticated instrument. But on the other hand, if we are using conductometry, then it will deal with the instrument of to check the conductance of ions.
Yes. What's the difference between a instrumental and non-instrumental analysis?
Sir, presence of sophisticated instrument or absence of sophisticated instrument as the primary one difference between them.
The difference between chemical analysis and instrumental analysis?
Sir, I think this is the same will be the difference between the chemical analysis and instrumental, because in chemical methods we will be dealing with the chemicals only in absence of instruments, but in instrument analysis there will be major portion of instrument, but some chemicals can also be used in that procedure also, because ultimately we are dealing with the chemical samples, so we have to involve chemicals in it.
Yes, good. What is IR spectroscopy in a instrumental method of analysis?
Yes, sir. We use IR instrumentation when we will be checking the functional group of organic compounds or the vibrational bond between the atoms of organic molecules. Such as if you want to check the OH bond or the carbonyl bond, we go with the IR procedure. In the IR instrument, we deal with the wavelength of 600 nanometers, 600 centimeter inverse to 4000 centimeter inverse with the IR instrument.
Yes. What are the advanced instrumental method of analysis?
Sir, modern methods are considered to be advanced method compared to the traditional one. For example, if we are uh, for example, if we are in the Raman spectroscopy, if we are using laser Raman, then it will be considered as advanced. Or for example, in case of chromatography, if we are using HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography, then it is advanced. Similarly, scanning electron microscopy, transmission electron microscopy are some of the methods that are considered to be the advanced.
Yes.
Compared to the traditional ones.
Is instrumental analysis qualitative or quantitative?
So it can be both qualitative as well as qualitative too.
What are the electrical method used in instrumental analysis?
Uh, Sir, it will be depending upon the sample and the properties that we want to study. For example, if we want to study the uh, in the visible region, then we will go with the UV visible instrument. And if we want to deal with the vibrational atoms, then we will be dealing with the IR. Similarly, for microwave, for rotational spectra.
Yes. Example like potentiometry, amperometry, conductometry,
Yes, yes, potentiometry, conductometry, kind of things.
voltammetry, polarography.
Voltammetry, yes, sir. Polarography, yes, sir.
Yes. What is polarography? What's the role of polarography? Any application?
Sir, polarography is a fast and reliable method to estimate the ions based on the fundamentals of electrochemistry, where we study the diffusion of ions from the bulk solution and study it with the dropping mercury electrode in the uh, periphery of a electrical system. Electroanalytical This is an electroanalytical procedure to find out the quantity and determination of ions such as mercury ion, cadmium ion, zinc ion in our solution sample.
Yes. What is wave potential in polarography?
Uh, Sorry, sir, I am not sure about it.
Okay. Next, what is the difference between polarimetry and photometry?
Sir, can I take a guess for this? I think I have studied it. Sir, in polarimetry, we usually send the electrical pulse to with the in the domain of polarography with the help of this dropping mercury electrode and other reference electrode. We draw a polarogram and then we extract our information. But in case of photometry, we use visible light in the periphery of B. Lambert's law. We carry out the experiment, and depending upon that, we detect our element and quantity of it.
Yes, good. What the role of computer in instrumental method of analysis?
Sir, it basically enhance the operating power and also improves the quality of result, fast processing, data signal out process, data signal study calculation, and output results to publish it. So it fastens the procedure of analytical methods.
Good. What the Q test in analytical chemistry? Analytical method.
Sir, when we are dealing with different observations in our analytical data, if there is one extreme data, so whether to retain it or to reject it is usually carried out with the help of Q test.
Yes, good. What is the best way of analysis method?
So there are some general procedures to to make our procedure relatively safe, best, and significant. Some standards, some guidelines are like our analyte should be as much pure as much, and human operations and our personal wisdom should be high to dealing with the instrumental part as well as the procedure part, and we should be operating at a very high sensitivity and good accuracy along with the precision. If we are dealing with those three parameters, then I think the analytical procedure will be best or at a good level.
Yes. What the principle of UV spectroscopy in instrumental analysis?
Sir, UV analysis based on the electronic transition between the ground state and excited state, and this electronic transition takes place in the wavelength and energy range of ultraviolet, UV, and visual region. And if by the information of the absorbance by our sample molecule, we can figure out the presence of bonds or the functional group in it based upon the UV spectra.
Yes.
It helps in structural identification.
What's the difference between IR and FTIR, frontier IR instrumental analysis?
Sir, IR refers to the infrared spectroscopy. And FTIR is Fourier transform in infrared spectroscopy. So the prime difference between IR and FTIR is the presence of Michelson interferometer in FTIR that covers the wide range of IR wavelength to cover a holistic picture of our sample with all range of wavelength. But in case of IR, it is not possible, and also the operating power and the process is quite fast in FTIR compared to normal IR. That's why FTIR is considered to be superior compared to the traditional IR.
Yes. What is the matrix effect in instrumental analysis?
Sir, matrix effect is a broad category that covers all kind of interferences or issues that develop in the procedural part. For example, if we are dealing with any ICP-MS system, if there is a frequent flow of liquid or the flow of the liquid is not proper in case of atomic absorption spectroscopy with the nebulizer, then these all will be fall in the category of matrix effect, basically deviating the precision and accuracy of a result. So to remove it, we should be looking for the option of safer operating procedures, and the quality of samples and our specimens should be high.
What are the instrumental method of analysis in pharmacy?
Sir, pharmaceutical companies deal at very high purity at any ppm and ppb level. So the instruments should be very sophisticated with very high sensitivity and high accuracy. Sir, I'm not able to recall the exact procedural name, but if those instruments will be dealing with protein, plasma, and blood level at the micro and nano level, so they should be very clean and efficient.
Yes, good. Some basic questions is clear regarding to instrumental analysis. Yes, no? Yeah, next move on chemistry. Yes. What is inorganic instrument?
Sir, Sir, any kind of instrument that is dealing with the analysis of inorganic samples will be fall in the category of inorganic instruments, such as if we are using boron 11B NMR, then it will be an organic instrument. Or if we are with the chromatography of ion exchange chromatography, it deals with the inorganic samples. That will be also category under the inorganic instrument, I think, sir.
Yes. What is UV visible spectroscopy? And why we need a double beam in UV?
Sir, UV visible, as I have previously told, deals with the transition, electronic transition. We follow the light and UV visual region and identify the compound. So, on the basis of single beam and double beam, we prefer double beam because, sir, in case of double beam, uh, uh, if I will show the diagram in the paper, like I have not, but they provide. So there is a one ray goes to the sample and another UV ray goes to the reference. So simultaneously we are dealing with the reference and sample, so it gives accurate picture. But in case of single beam, we have to calibrate every time for to measure our sample, so it takes much longer time compared to the double beam, and also the procedure is quite reliable and compared to the single beam. That's why we prefer double beam UV visible to get
What
much
the,
faster and easier.
yes, what the advantage of a single beam and double beam in UV?
Sir, advantage of single is like it is relatively cheap compared to the double beam, because in double beam we have to divide the beam into the two part and we have to go through the blank sample and blank sample, standard sample, and then reference sample. So it takes dual cost compared to the single beam, where but the time take the single beam takes much time compared to the double beam because of double part we have to carry out
Yes,
in single beam.
any disadvantage of single and double beam?
So disadvantage is I think at the cost and time consuming part of single beam. And in case of double beam, it will be relatively costly compared to that.
Yes, what is NMR instrument? What the application of NMR?
Sir, NMR is nuclear magnetic resonance, and sir, it basically falls in the category or under the radio frequencies, where basically the basic principle is when a magnetically active nuclei that is already split in the two states, one is alpha and other is beta, and in presence of external magnetic field, uh, they coherent with the radio frequency and aligns them. So on the basis of absorption of energy or the emission of energy, the spectrum is recorded in the form of NMR, and sophisticated instruments deal with it is NMR instrument for it.
Yes, what the selection of NMR? Doctor?
Uh, Sir, the I value should not be zero. Magnetically, they should be magnetically active. that will be active in the NMR species.
What is the difference
For
between
example,
yes, yes.
12C is not active because its I value is 0, but 13C is active. 1H is active.
Yes, what the difference between NMR active and inactive? Have you detected?
Sir, if it has a if it has magnetic moment, I is not equal to 0, then it will be magnetically active. But if it has I is equal to 0 value, then it will be magnetically non-active. Generally, it has been seen that the nucleus that having even number of protons and neutrons are relatively I is equal to 0, not active, such as 6C12 that has been observed.
The next move on nuclear. Yes, what is nuclear half? What is activity law of decay?
Sir, in radioactivity, um, there is a law of disintegration that is called as a law of decay activity. It says that the the rate of decay of any radioactive substance will be directly proportional to the amount of substance left at that time. Means minus dn upon dt is directly proportional to the n. It leads to the derivation of the famous equation n is equal to n naught e की power minus lambda t, where it is a first order reaction dealing with the all kinds of nuclear reactions for the kinetic study of it.
Yes, what kind of decay occurs in relation between activity law of decay?
Sir, first order kinetics.
What the effect of alpha, beta, gamma on atomic nucleus?
Sir, these are the radiation emerging out from the radioactive nuclei. If alpha emits out, then neutron to proton ratio decreases. It loses 2 protons and 4 neutrons from the atomic sample from the atomic radii. And in case of proton, so in case of sir beta decay, it increases the atomic number by 1. Here basically neutron can be converted into proton. So by n by p ratio is going to decrease in it and increase in it. And in case of gamma, it does not change in the much in the nuclei, but it is associated radiation with the alpha and beta. When alpha, beta, gamma decay occur, simultaneously gamma also decay from these.
Yes. What kind of decay carbon does?
Uh, Sir, I am not aware with this.
T half of the carbon 14 and 13.
Sir, T half of the carbon 14 is 5,730 years. That is used in the carbon dating C14. And sir, I'm not aware with the carbon 13 half life.
Hydrogen tritium half life. What the half life of hydrogen tritium?
Sir, tritium is isotope of hydrogen, 1h3, and sir, its half life is close to 13 years, I guess. I think I have read 13 years.
Yes, good. Next is what the difference between insulator, semiconductor, and conductor? Which element is so of these one?
Uh, Sir, the difference between these three semiconductor, conductor, and insulator can be explained on the basis of valence band and conduction band theory. If there is much gap between the valence band and conduction band, more than 1.7 electron volt, then they will be fall under the category of insulator, such as wood and carbon, etc. But if the gap between the uh, valence band and conduction band there is no any gap, then it will be conductor like our any ordinary metal. These are conductors. And in case of semiconductor, the gap is relatively less than 1.7 electron volt, such as germanium, silicon. They fall in the category of semiconductors.
Yes, glass is what material? What is glass?
Sir, glass is made up of silicates, like fusion molten of sodium silicate and calcium silicate and other materials. It
What?
contains primarily silicates.
Yes,
So
what is
silicates is made up of silica, SiO2.
yes? How many type of silicate?
Uh, so there are 4 or 5 types: orthosilicate, pyrosilicate, seed silicate, linkage silicate, 3D silicates, and they have various examples associated with them. Based on the sharing of oxygen, these structures has been classified, like how much oxygen atom they are sharing in their structure.
Yes, good. What is quartz? And quad has what other materials?
So quartz is a three-dimensional silicate. Basic constituent is SiO2. It is made up of SiO2. It is a three-dimensional silicate.
Yes. And what is uranium? What the main application purpose of uranium in periodic table?
Sir, uranium is a nuclear active element, and in periodic table, uranium was one of the primary elements that has been studied under the nuclear chemistry in the ages of 1900s. And sir, it is basically used in modern science. It is used in various kinds of nuclear medicines and other instrumental purposes, like nuclear energy. If you want to produce uranium enriched fuel, it's used as a nuclear reactor, is a nuclear fuel in our nuclear reactors in modern way, in modern today, in today.
Yes. Periodic table. Yes, we talk about the periodic table. What the difference between mentally periodic table and modern periodic table? What's the difference? What the role of these one
Uh,
in?
s- Sir, the fundamental difference was based on the law. Mendeleev said that the periodicity of the elements depend upon is the periodic function of atomic weight. But the modern periodic table given by the Henry Moseley says that it is the periodicity is the function of atomic number. That is the prime difference in between them.
What is ore? What the main application of ore?
Sir, ore is uh, defined as a composition of minerals, rocks, and having a particular specific metal element in significant amount that is economically significant. For example, copper ore is copper pyrite, or magnetite is ore of iron.
Difference between rock and minerals. Now, how many types?
Uh, Sir, ores. Sir, sorry, sir, I couldn't get the question.
What the difference between ore and mineral? Now, how many types of these one?
So minerals are basically ions, and ores are the composition of minerals embedded along with the some kind of impurities and a non-economical method. Like if there is a large chunk of stone, that it can be embedded with the minerals. Minerals can contain different kinds of elements. But if that rock contains majorly particular one element, such as iron or cobalt or maybe aluminum, then it will be the ore of that particular element. Ores are basically seen from the point of view of metallurgy, whereas minerals is also seen of the metallurgy point, but it is consist of a large amount of minerals associated with it.
Yes. What are the composition of hematite ore?
Hematite and
Hematite ore.
hematite ore. Okay, sir, hematite Fe2O3 is hematite ore.
And what the role of?
One is magnet. Huh.
Yes, yes.
One is magnetite, which has formula of Fe3O4.
Yes. Yes. What is crystal system? What the main application of crystal system in solid state? And how many types?
Sir, crystal system are the parameters of solid state, which shows that there are the fixed parameters of length, angle associated with these geometries. according to the brevis, there are 14 lattice categorized in the 7 systems, such as cubic, orthogonal, rhombohedral. These are basically differentiated on the basis of the sizes, size dimensions A, B, and C, their relations, and the associated angle with them, alpha, beta, and gamma, such as BCC, CCC, CCP, ECC, are such kind of systems.
Any drawback of limitation of pressure system in solid state?
Sir, I don't have much information regarding the limitation, but I think the scientist community is discovering some different kind of geometry that do not fall in these 714 Brevis lattices. Like there are possibilities of having other dimensions geometries possible for solids. Scientists are working on them. So if this will be discovered, then we need to alter the Brevis lattice system and we have to modify accordingly.
That's good. What is cosmetic? What the use of cosmetic for our society?
Sir, cosmetic is a multi-billion dollar industry currently, and for the use of society, we are largely engaged with it for our external appearance of it. Like we use soap, powder, cream for various skin-related application of these cosmetics.
What's the composition of cosmetics?
Sir, on the basis of chemical composition, uh, they are made up of elements that are relatively less harmful or much safer to the body, such as glycerol, glycerine, and silicates, powders, talc, and parabens for to moisturize it. So there are some couple of chemicals associated in the composition of these cosmetics.
Yes. Then what are the biggest problem with cosmetics for our society?
Sir, biggest problem deals when there is not regulatory authority or the proper inspection or the quality of the cosmetics. Like if there is much lead in the cosmetic, then it will damage the nervous system or other health injuries to one who is using that cosmetic. So the primary limitation, I think, that it should be the quality and the regularity of these cosmetics.
What is phase equilibrium? And what the concept of phase equilibrium in during material decomposition?
Sir, phase equilibrium is a is a thermodynamic state where any material, any matter change its state, phase. For example, if water is going to the solid to liquid, then in the phase equilibria, it will be occur at 0 degrees Celsius in the phase diagram of it.
What the
And
difference
similarly, for going to the changing the phase from one state to another state.
is what the difference between ionic equilibrium?
Sir, I couldn't.
Yes, what the difference between ionic equilibrium and phase equilibrium?
Sir, I am not.
Yes. I'm audible.